Hello there, welcome to the Workplace Employed and Rich. On this episode, I have with me a very special guest whom you will love to listen to. She's achieved so much in a short span in her career and is going to show you principles how to rise fast in your industry while earning big as well. So come along with me as we try to answer the question, can I be employed and rich? Hello there. So I strongly believe that employees can't earn as much as they can, and that money is a consequence, a result of something called work. So the more valuable you are to the marketplace, the more money you earn consequently. And so as employees, one goal should be to see that wherever you're working, you rise as fast as you can within that space, whether your industry or your workplace. So on today's episode, I have with me a very special guest who will be sharing with us her journey so far and how she's been able to rise to the level she is right now in the financial space. Now, because the more you rise, the more you earn. So please welcome with me on today's episode of The Workplace, Wunmi Adelusi.
Thank you so much for having me.
So my first question will be for you to share your journey, but please tell us what informed this mindset and how did you get on this path to becoming what you are today in the financial sector?
Okay, so thank you very much. Loaded question, but I'll try to summarize.
Yes.
So I think it's better to start and introduce how my journey started.
Yes,
so I schooled, first degree was in accounting at Covenant University. And then I proceeded to do masters. And I traveled to the UK, did accounting and finance, finished with distinction. Good stuff. I felt like, please, I'm coming back to my fatherland to work. And I also felt like I had a lot to give back. Like, okay, I felt like I was more valuable here. Mm. And so getting back, then I started applying for jobs. I did aptitude test upon aptitude test. And
really?
Yes.
One would have thought that you just landed on your
No, I did not. And I did aptitude test upon aptitude test. It didn't come through. So I came to Abuja. Fast forward to like few months down the line, someone got my CV along the line and called me. I did an interview, an accounting firm, and of course they started paying me, I think about 80,000 or about 100,000. And yeah, that sounded good. I took the offer, started working, and it was accounting firms, particularly the big four, you have to wear double hats. So I was accounting officer, I was business development manager. And so that exposed me not only to the accounting side of things, but also to the management side of business. And I did that. 9 months into the role, then an opportunity came with the central bank. And I was like, oh, okay, nice. Did aptitude test, got in. That was 2015, end of 2015. And so it was 2016 beginning, I started with the CBN. And my first posting was to Legal Services Department. And I was posted there to be an inventory officer.
Okay.
Let me break it down because it's not as good as the okay you said. The inventory officer is when lawyers come to ask for paper, you are to hand them the paper, A4 paper. They need maybe pens. So basically like a storekeeper.
Wow.
But I mean, the title of the role was inventory officer. And so while I was there, I'm like, no, there has to be more. And I started looking out for opportunities of how I could help, So in that admin department, they had people who were processing the payment. So I said, oh, I'm an accounting graduate. Let me see what you're doing with your payments, your books. And so I suggested, oh, we can do this thing on Excel, So it wasn't my role, but I mean, I started adding value there. And so later on, an assistant director just randomly just said one day that, oh, please, would you book me a ticket to, I think I was traveling to maybe Ekiti or something. I said, okay, sir. And so I booked the ticket and I asked, I would share the receipt via email. And I think that the way I maybe constructed the email, and then my email had my signature, which said chartered accountant, ACA, how you write your name. Yeah. So when he saw the email, he then responded and said, you can't be kidding. You are a chartered accountant. What are you doing in admin? And so the man then said, don't worry. Currently he's the legal director today. Yeah. And so he said he was going to take it up and make sure I got to another department where my skill set will be of more value. And so then I moved to banking supervision, like not long after. So that mindset of, if I'm doing something, I don't know how not to give my best to it. It has to be my best. And I think that mindset has shaped me and shaped my perspective to work. So when I show up to do anything, it has to be my best. Even sometimes when I'm sending emails, I will still proofread. I will subscribe to grammar. Like, I have subscriptions that are just to proofread what I've done to be sure that it's world class. It's not just Nigerian standard.
Thank you for sharing that. So how does the combination of hard work and diligence impact on what I earn? Because this is a show about being employed and rich.
There's something else I see a lot. He says, and I think he heard it from Pastor, around success is what you attract by who you've become. Yeah. And I think the becoming part of that equation is the diligence and the hard work. Again, if we go back to that Proverbs 22:29,
I'm sure Bishop probably nailed it into you people's.
In fact, there are some Bible verses that when he said it for the first time, or when I heard it for the first time, I felt, oh, maybe it's a quote. Until when he eventually now made the Bible reference, I'm like, it's actually in the Bible. So that's how Proverbs 22:29 is. So I see it as, if the Bible is saying, if you're diligent, you stand before kings. Why didn't the Bible say you'll be rich or you'll be wealthy? So that to me tells me that when you are diligent, you automatically attract some things, which in that bucket would include, being employed and rich. Yeah. And how I see it is, there are levels to rewards of hard work and diligence. So there are times where, of course, a lot of my hard work things I've done, I wasn't paid for it. I wasn't paid extra, no double promotion, nothing. Everybody's writing promotion exam. You're also writing.
You're also writing.
Yes. But I noticed that through those processes, I've built social capital. I've built influence. In fact, there were times where someone would offer, let me pay. I'm like, no. Like, it's okay. It's fine. And that is because my end goal was not money in literal terms. My end goal is what I can attract and the opportunities that can come as a result of that hard work. And so the hard work and the diligence bit is where you become more valuable, where you almost become like, this is the person I want to do it. If this person, there are times where I've been in meetings, maybe I'm the most junior, and the DG goes, Wumi, what do you think? So that is not money.
Yeah.
But that is influence. Yeah. It's telling me that I have a command in this certain area and they want to hear my thoughts. Yes. And with that, I mean, you can't be before a king and be broke. To some extent. Eventually. Yes, eventually. Because you now become you are able to attract that money because you've commanded value. Yeah. And you see, there's something in the workplace about making life easy for your boss. People are often tilted as bosses, or your superiors they will be gravitated towards you if you make life easy for them. And so they can even recommend you to go on trips. Yeah. There was a day I was just doing my job.
Come to their minds.
Yes. I was just doing my job, and then I think it was 2023, July. Yeah, and I got a call from the FC saying, you are going to represent us in Seychelles for policy, something. I'm like, okay. Oh. So imagine if maybe they had given me some work, I didn't do it well, I won't come to their mind. At all. Imagine if they had given me some work and maybe I had insisted that, give me the money now. No. So there are some opportunities or rewards that come with that diligence and hard work that is not just money. And I think that it is limiting to limit your reward for hard work to just money.
It is actually, because people who chase after money don't have it. So, because ultimately they won't have it. I mean, money is something you attract. It comes with the success. It comes with the value you give. In fact, it's a consequence. It's like trying to change what's on my computer screen from the outside. It won't work. I have to go back end and edit. So when you're trying to catch up with money, it's always away from you, because money really is not something you chase after. It's supposed to come to you as a function of the value that you give. Amazing. So maintaining discipline when you earn big is hard for a lot of employees. What happens is the moment the money comes in, bing, like that, lifestyle is inflated. The clothes people move from outskirts to town. Family has to go on vacation. There's no inflation in the economy. I'm not talking about right now. Maybe generally everything is fine in the economy, but personally there's inflation. So what are the tips you can give to employees that has helped you over the years?
Sure. Since I started working, my salary continues to get higher and higher. And lifestyle changes would also evolve based on the season of life you're in. So at some point I didn't have kids. So the number of grapes I was buying was just maybe for me and my husband. Now I have to think of grapes for lunchbox and all of those. So that's a different bucket. Yeah. But when it comes to lifestyle changes, it's about knowing that this money coming into my hands is a resource. So I'm not supposed to just earn it, finish it right now. No. It's a resource to do something. So you send it on errands to do something for you. I would say that being content. So if I don't need it, why must I buy it?
I don't know. This is class you must maintain. Status
you know, myself and my husband, we joke about, if everybody was like us, nobody would see people at their events, because please don't invite me. It's money. He would say something in Yoruba that, like, it's like, please, as I step out, I'm spending money. There's food at home. Sometimes I'm like, but it's been a while we went to the restaurant. It's like, there's food at home. So understanding that if it's not necessary, why do I need to do it? Yeah, you need to change your clothes sometimes. So you can structure that, at the beginning of the year I shop. During the year, please, you show me clothes. It's fine. That's all I will say. End of story. So it's important to just have structure for those things. Otherwise, you will keep seeing trends of, this outfit is so nice, And also, there's also the part of what you cannot sustain. There's no point. Someone would say, I think it was Pastor Matthew that said it, if you can't afford something so many times, you have no business. You have no business there. And always learn to use the grandchildren of your money. So that okay, my capital is still there. So those are the mindsets when it comes to money and
Amazing. What's your top advice for managing personal finance during uncertain times? Because right now we're in a very uncertain times. A lot of people, the other day someone called me and she says, I feel so bad. I'm having to dip into my savings because the cost of living just went up suddenly and all of that. I'm like, okay, fine. That's why we saved up the money. Thank God you were saving up. Thank God you built an emergency fund. So what would you say, top advice, things you do that has helped you? Because you mentioned one which is very valid, is financial goal setting, actually. Determining that, okay, these are the things I'm going to achieve with my finance this year. And then when money comes, you just channel it. It also linked to budgeting, where you have a plan for your spending and you tell your money where to go. I always tell people, if you're always wondering where your money went, it's because you didn't tell it where to go in the first place. And how do you tell it to go? You make a budget. So you've shared those, but at that top personal finance principles that you apply that has helped you, particularly now?
So, in this season, I think the first thing is, and it sounds cliche, is that knowing that God is your source. Knowing that God is your source. Because sometimes when you sit with, my total inflow, the total expenditure is not matching. And you're wondering how. But after knowing and acknowledging the supernatural, that I know that God will bring money my way, also seek out for how to make multiple streams of income. So when I left my previous employer in July, I had some people reach out to say, could you do some work for us on bird evaluation? And it's not pro bono. We are going to pay you. So again, going back to our value. you have built value, they've seen the value I've built over the years, and then the money can come to say, I want you.
Sorry to cut you. I always tell people that valuable people don't look for jobs. Opportunities come to them.
True. And to buttress that, just yesterday, I had someone call me to say, so I got a call from your new employer saying, from someone working with your new employer saying, I should send my CV and I want to know if it's a scam. Do you know anyone by this name? So again, going by, there are opportunities out there. You just need to have the right value and those opportunities will come for you. Yeah. So building a multiple stream of income. So yes, as an employee, you can use your money to invest. You get return. There was a time I did T-bills and I locked it down for like 2 years or so. Wow. But I knew that the money was coming. So I knew that in September, I think they paid me. I think sometime I did it like in different tranches. So I think there was a 2M, 1, but at least you know that those monies, you can, the grandchildren of your money is coming and then you can add up to whatever you already have for living expense. And another thing is, in this era, it's important to hedge. So hedging in terms of FX and, so what skill can I learn to take up maybe customer service job in some other country? I mean, the world is now very digital and so interconnected. So how can I earn in foreign currency? I think it's an important question.
And that brings me to this question. On your book, talking about creating multiple sources of income, you wrote the book, The Millennial Employee. Yeah. So, how were you able to write a book working for someone with all the responsibilities you had? What triggered that writing?
So, remember I told you about when I was in legal services, right? And I felt like I was overpaid and I had so much time on my hands. And while I was thinking about that time, I also felt like there must be other people like me who actually want to give their best. They are not really seeing a path in business. Oh, and by the way, I attempted selling makeup. So I'll go to House of Tara. I'll go to House of Tara. Yeah, I'll go to House of Tara. And they had a discount for if you were buying, yeah, so I would sell to oh my God, I even forgot I did that. And I'll sell to my colleagues like lip glosses, eye pencils, and all of those things. So yeah, it seemed like very small, but I had a lot of time on my hands. Now I can't even take that on because I don't have time. But I had the time, so I was looking for how to then multiply what I was earning and make use of it properly. And so the book idea started when I was in legal and I felt I was being undervalued. I felt I was being overpaid. I felt I could do more. And I also felt that I must know, I was sure I couldn't have been the only one feeling like this, who was not ready to venture into business. Because I honestly believe in purposeful work. I believe that not everyone is called to be a business owner, an entrepreneur. So I'm a policy person. I want to be where they are making the policies. That is where I see myself. And so how do I increase my value? And so that was how the idea for the book was conceived. And I'm a millennial, so I felt, okay, yes, employees in the workplace, millennial, how to thrive as a non-entrepreneur. And that was what the book is about.
And of course, it brought you an extra source of income.
Yes, it did. Even though initially at first, that was not, you know how you start off there. But sometimes I wake up and like, some people are like, please send us 10 copies. I'm like, okay, this is good. Maybe my husband has gone out, he told someone about it, like, this person wants 10. I'm like, nice, Sometimes I just get order notification from Paystack to say, oh, this person ordered your book. And it feels good to know that beyond what you are doing, you are impacting and you're also earning more.
So if we're going to get your book, how do we get it?
You can order. I have it's on Roving Heights. It's on Narrative Landscape, but I also brought some copies.
Oh, okay, nice. Amazing. All right. So before we go to the next segment, I just have one more question. In no particular order, I have two questions actually. In no particular order, what are your top 3 financial success principles for employees?
Okay. Top 3. I would say number 1 is save.
Okay.
save. And there was one time that I did, my husband laughed at me. It was more like an ajo, but on app. So thank God for digital mode. And so I automated the savings. I think 5,000 naira every day. And so at the end of every day, you just get debit alert. As I'm waking up, I'm seeing debit alert. I'm like, who sent me to do this thing? But guess what? It was just for, I think, 2 months or 3 months towards the end of the year. And I was amazed that by January, I think I had saved maybe 1.5 or 1 million, something like that. I was like, that is my 5,000 naira. So when the thing accumulated, I showed my husband, I said, see you were laughing at me. But it's telling to, when you're consistent with something, a lot of us are very good starters. Like, you just started, you're just saving. But we also need to keep the momentum, and that is only when we see the result. If you drop a drop of water in the bucket, it will show. But if you keep adding up, it will build up. So I would say savings. And in times like this, it comes in handy. Like, especially look at the illustration you gave around emergency fund and the person saying with inflation rate and all of that. So savings will be my number one. Number two would be to have kind of design your income to match your investment plans. So you have, maybe, you know that they pay you bulk money, maybe in the middle of the year, or bonus at the end of the year. What are you using it for? Like you said, very valid. If you don't send money on errand, it would go somewhere that you've not sent it. So find, which is now the investment bucket. So find a way to draw your money back to you, to where you want it to be. And the last one will be giving. The last one will be giving. When you give to people, you'll be richer than you think. So, and what actually, what blows my mind with giving is you will not essentially reap from where you sowed to, but you will find out that you would not lack that thing.
You just never lack.
You will not like, it's a principle that I cannot explain, like with the natural economics, Adam Smith theory. But it's something that has worked for me over the years. So even the giving is not just to outsiders, even giving to the people working with you, your domestic staff. So sometimes you just, maybe your driver, I just want, so outside of your salary, I'm just giving you this. Or send money to even your parents. Because sometimes you feel like, they have. But it's also important to extend to them and say, the blessing, it works. So yeah, that giving bucket. So I'll say saving, invest, and then give.
All right. So we're moving on to the segment, Naira and sense of humor. So if money were a superhero, what would its superpower be?
To fly. To fly. Because literally sometimes before you say Jack, you're like, wait, where did this money go? So I think that if you had that superpower, it would be to fly. Like,
All right, so the next one, what's the most unusual thing that you've done to save money?
You will be that my example of saving 5,000 naira a day.
Okay.
Yes.
So much. So, little drops of water makes an ocean. It counts. There's a quote that I love so much by Benjamin Franklin, and he said that a little leak will sink a ship. So thinking about it, I just realized it's just for that ship to stay on the water for a while. That little leak will actually bring it down. So the little expenses count, and then the little savings count eventually. It does. If you do it consistently, like you said.
And even sometimes when I cut expenses on, so I like salads a lot.
Okay.
And so in my former life, I'm talking about last year, I'll be like, I just want to order. There's this new place. Their salad is so good. I just want to order. I'm like, going forward, whatever you need, you buy from the store and you go home to make it. Because I want to believe that I'm saving something. And I think indeed I am. Because I'm buying those things in bulk, right? I'm buying my sweet corns in bulk. I'm buying whatever cabbage. I'm buying it in bulk. So,
and then the service charge they put on it for helping you make it is out of it. So, so it's cheaper.
Buttressing the little leak that you said.
It counts. All right. So finally on this segment, what's your guilty pleasure spending?
You really want to know?
It's sounding like it's not the salad.
Oh my God. It's not the salad because salad is default. Like you have to eat it.
Yeah.
And now I think I've gotten the hold of making it myself and loving it. So my guilty pleasure it should be candle and diffusers and birthday cakes. Yes.
Really?
Whether in Nigeria, outside of Nigeria, like I just see and I perceive so good, I want to buy. I'm always like, you don't need this much, madam. I'm like, please, I just love it. In fact, there was one time I think I went to a store. I went to buy and then I go home. I just kept crying. I was like, how much did you buy? Don't let me tell you. Because you know how those moments of like, but I just love the aroma. And then for birthday cakes, I feel like it's memory. So I want to preserve it. Even if I'm not doing birthday party.
Really?
But for the boys, I'm like, please, let's choose your design. I'm like, let's choose the design of the cake you want. And my husband's like, it's not that deep. I'm like, we're not doing party. I say, I know. We're not doing but I just want it to be so good and taste so good. Yeah.
Nice to know. Amazing. Okay, so and before we go, we're gonna have the financial fortune cookie.
Okay. So my financial fortune cookie. There you are. Okay. It says your financial future is bright, especially if you diversify your investments.
Amazing.
Very valid.
Yeah. For me, for employees, it may not be that you can write a book, you can be on a board like you were called recently to do something and it will be paid. All those things that are tied to your skill because you've honed your skills over the years and you've given value. People know what you can offer. Now, so the first step would be for you to diversify as an employee. Be good at what you do.
Right.
If you are not good at where you work, your boss is always complaining. Nobody will recommend you. That's the truth. They don't even want to think of you when it comes to promotion. Because you're a pain in the neck, sort of. You're not solving problems. So once you have that in place also, I always recommend your income, set aside a portion of it because a time will come that you will not be able to work as hard as you work today.
Yeah.
Your money must go to work for you. So how do you diversify your investments?
So honestly, based on my risk appetite. So my risk appetite is secure and I feel like I don't have the bandwidth to monitor things like stock market. So I'm not your stock market investor. I'm the real estate investor. This is the building. And maybe because that's also my husband's line of work. He's an architect. So I kind of understand how the market works. So understanding the market you want to step in is key in diversification so that you're not burnt. So I make sure I understand the market, which real estate is one of those markets I understand. So I do that. Another part is doing the treasury bills. Risk-free, government bonds, just lock your money in, your interest comes and you're good. Again, because I don't have the bandwidth to, whose share, what's the share price today? Whose stock price is high? Whose stock price? But there are some people that they are technically sound on that, and so they would be more inclined to do that. But for me, I'm not inclined to do that. So I diversify looking at my risk appetite and understanding of the market. Those would be my two.
Amazing. It's important to know your level of risk appetite and then work with that. Choose investments based on that. And that's where you spread your money, you diversify. Diversification doesn't mean you do 1 million investments. It could be 2, it could be 3, but you're not in one sector. Sometimes you're not in one industry. You're not in one country, like you were talking about hedging with foreign currency. You know, it's that all diversification. And as an employee, the key is to set aside a portion of your income consistently. Consistently. The key is to be consistent. It's been so amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. Same here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for making the time to be here.
It's my pleasure.
I've learned a lot.
I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you
so much. So don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more on the workplace. Until next time, bye for now.